Hey guys, it's Matt again from Hedge, here to bring you another educational crypto video. Today we're going to be talking about Lukso, but before I begin, for all our community members that love our content, make sure to like so that we can make sure that we're approaching the subject the way you want to hear it. And that way we get the proper feedback to be able to give you content that you enjoy. Now, before I get into it, I just got to say one thing. This is not financial advice. We do not accept liabilities for loss that you might incur. And all the subjects of these videos are strictly here for news, research, and educational purposes. So with that in mind, you should be able to enjoy this video. And today, like I said, the subject will be Lukso. So we just came off of an all-time high. We basically hit roughly about 32 on a soft wick. And now we're coming down to hit the bottom. And from here we could see we bounced. We had a pretty solid bounce at about the 2250 range. And now we're back up to about 26. So that was a very big bounce. And as you can see from like a 3-month perspective, this is looking really good. You know, like it's a very healthy looking market so far. And I wanted to go back and give an update because people in the comments asked for an update on our technical analysis that we gave earlier. And I stand by it. This is pretty solid technical analysis when you're looking at it from a perspective of, let's say, scenarios. And it's looking like we're going to be scenario 1 over 2 or 3. We're not going to be breaking below, I would say, the $20 range. I don't think that's foreseeable in our future. And you can see here, when I zoom in and look at scenario 1, we bounced off this previous resistance line. So when I did this technical analysis initially, you could see here, I took the previous top, mapped it as the resistance line, then I took the bottom for multiple bounces off the floor, basically. And then I gave a trajectory based off of when we broke out of the pattern of lower highs and lower lows, as well as like bottoming out, and then the beginning of us seeing higher lows and higher highs. So that's how I began that analysis, let's say, I think it was 3 weeks ago when I published it. Now, as you can see here, we mostly bounced off these lines for the most part, but what's most important is that those previous floors and ceilings become our previous ceilings become our future floors, if I'm correct. Now, we could see here, scenario 2 would have been if we broke down further and we would have bounced off the $15 into basically back to the all-time high. That would have been scenario 2, but I don't think we're going to see it, simply because we're breaking past the point where the teacup and handle would form. And I'm not really expecting a double bottom. That would be too steep of a drop. But granted, it's crypto. It could happen at any moment. So I'm thinking scenario 1 is the most likely, simply because if you zoom in a little bit closer, right here, you see it. You see it right here. We broke past the ceiling to an all-time high, and when we hit the floor, or rather the previous ceiling, which is now going to be the future floor if we keep going upwards, we just broke it a little bit, but then we bounced. So if you look at the previous all-time high back here, it's kind of symmetrical. And that's how most technical analysis usually ends up playing out. People's panicking is usually symmetrical on a chart for some reason. I'll never understand it, but the Japanese guy who invented candlestick charts, he definitely figured it out to some degree. Now, as you can see here, we kind of bounced. We're breaking up above that ceiling price, and if we could maintain it, throughout the rest of October in this trajectory range / November, we could be seeing Lukso in the $37 to $40 range probably by the end of November, if we keep on this trajectory. And if we do keep on that new trajectory, then technically right now, that would mean that $25 is the current floor, and then I would have to restart this chart and map out a new layout for the future. Now, that's more or less what I'm expecting. I'm thinking that we broke past the ceiling hard enough where we're not likely to go back to scenario 2 or 3. Meaning that now your best strategy with Lukso would have been to buy that dip because we broke that initial ceiling, and then to dollar cost average your way up. If you decide that this is the play you want to be holding onto long term. As you can see here, like, look, bang. If we keep going up at that trajectory, by the time mainnet launches and Q4 launches, we don't know how parabolic it could go. But I figured, since people in the comments were asking for that market update, especially based off of the previous technical analysis that I laid out, that's my current opinion. I'm thinking scenario 1 is the most likely, and this is going to be the new pattern that we're breaking into now. So it's another triangle. So technically, from here, the 1st of January roughly, that's where we're going to see where everything is going. That's the next, I guess, like, closing of this symmetrical pattern. So by then we could be looking at, I think, $45 Lukso. In my personal opinion, obviously not financial advice, but I figured I would let you know what I see from my perspective. I'm sure other people in the community might not agree, but they could, have their own opinion. That's why it's not advice, right? So guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Hope you like this video. And if you have any questions about Lukso or anything that you want to be asking Fabian Volgestellar, because we're trying to organize that now. Logistically, we're trying to make it make sense before the Q4 mainnet launch, so that way you guys could ask your questions before it launches. But you know what I mean? We're in the process of working that out. So guys, take care.